everybody, welcome to another Broken Meeple Express review. I'm Luke Hector, and remember, if you like what you see, please remember to leave a thumbs up and comment on the video to let me know your thoughts. And don't forget that the Patreon campaign is always running if you want to help support this channel a little bit further. So don't mind me here, you don't normally see the leaves on this table, but Nemesis and Role Player Adventures is kind of taking up a lot of space at the moment, so I need to cover up this so I can actually do some reviews, because I am not packing away Nemesis and putting it back out again. But this is going to be a very quick express review on a book. It's like, Luke, you don't do books, this is a board game channel. Well, this is kind of a board game in its sense. It'll make sense in a minute. This is the Book of Rituals. It's from Board and Dice, and it's a supplement to one of their escape room style games. So if you remember, the escape room games are like puzzles and riddles that you solve in order to get from the start to the finish. Escape rooms in real life are super popular. I mean, I've done plenty of them in my time. I like them, but I don't love them, but it's a good way to get out with friends and just have a bit of fun and challenge the brain. And so the idea that you get locked in a room and you've got to solve puzzles in order to get out, it's a cool concept, and I can see why it's super popular. I just like it but don't love it. But this is a side thing to their lineup of games, which is called Escape Tales. This is specifically a side thing to The Awakening, which is the first one they did, in which you were trying to get your daughter out of a coma by dealing with slight occult stuff. It's very dark, quite gritty. It's also the best of the three. I think it's a great one. It's one of my favorites of the series of these type of escape room games, because I felt like it had a decent thematic narrative with it, as well as the complicated puzzles. Well, it references a book of rituals in that one, and that's as much as it links to it. That's literally the only link. You don't need to play that one in order to do this. This is basically a giant riddle puzzle book. You have a ton of them in here, and the idea is that they're all based on elements. It's all trying to make it sound like a big alchemical ritual. And so you've got an alchemical alphabet, you've then got all the different elements that you're doing, like opium, lead, ether, mercury, sulfur, whatever, and then you've got some specific rites. And the idea is that you go through in any order you like, although certain puzzles you're going to have to solve other puzzles in order to get the clues in order to solve that puzzle. But you essentially go through and solve a ton of these riddles. Now, you're not going to be able to tell much from like the screen looking at this book here, and I can't really show you pictures on this, hence this is going to be quite a quick review, because obviously spoilers. But the idea is that you go through, solve these puzzles, and then if I do alcohol, for example, that gives me the clues I need in order to solve silver and copper or something. That's not what it does in the game, but I'm just trying to give you an example here. And then the rites at the end you can do once you've got all that Act 1 stuff done. And that's essentially all it is. You've got a page on the back where you can write down all the alchemical names and numbers that you find out by solving these puzzles, and using these to do the other puzzles, you basically work your way through this book. This is definitely probably the best value for money I have seen in any of these escape room games, because the exit games take you about 60 minutes and then you're done. It's destroyed, gone, £12 down. The unlock games, you pay about, what, 25 quid or so, 20 quid, 25 quid for free adventures. They take them out an hour each and then you're done, but you could sell it on. That's not too bad on the value. And then other ones tend to be self-destructive or cost quite a bit for a big box and so. But yeah, the best value you can kind of get is about 10 to 12 quid for something that you destroy within 60 minutes. I dare you to finish this in 60 minutes, or 90, or 2 hours. This is going to take you a long time, and this book costs you no more than £15. I think it's about like £12–13 you spend on this, and there's a lot in here. I don't know exactly how many there are. I mean, maybe I can write out very quick. 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. There's around 30 in the first part. Then you've got about 5 to 10 or so rights after that. So you're talking about 40 separate puzzles in here, and they do range from the insultingly simple, like literally I think you need to be brain dead to not see what the clue and answer is, to, oh my word, where's that guy from Mensa? How on earth are you expecting me to figure this out? The difficulty curve does kind of like go up and down as you go through, and not in a particular like ascending order either. The first one you look at is like, crazy simple. That was a little bit tricky. Oh my god, that's stupidly hard. Crazy simple. Stupidly hard. That's challenging. Stupidly hard. It just fluctuates all over the place, because obviously you can go through this book in kind of any order you like, but because you've got to do certain puzzles in order to solve others, you are kind of on a slight linear path. It's not entirely open book, no pun intended, but you certainly do at least get to pick maybe some of the early puzzles to do first. But the puzzles are good and varied, and they certainly do test the brain. I mean, you need to have your thinking cap on for some of these. You need to really pay attention to what's in this book, look for the clues, look for hidden things in the book that you might have glossed over while you're reading it. It's like, oh no, that's actually relevant to this puzzle, I should check this out. The wording of the initial verse that it gives you before each puzzle could be incredibly relevant. You need to really pay attention and not ignore anything in the book. No picture, no word, don't ignore a thing in here. But the puzzles are good fun. Now, this is self-destructive unless you're very good at taking notes, because some of these ones want you to fold pages over, one or two, and I don't like those in these things. I hate the ones where you got to fold stuff over, but there's one or two in here that require it. But you are probably going to be drawing on this book and making notes. You're going to be writing probably on this back page to get all the numbers and values down. And so this is not really something I recommend to you if you think you're going to sell this on afterwards. Not unless you're willing to copy out entire bits of the book while doing it. And if you want to do that, fine. Not going to stop you. For me though, I could not be bothered to do that. So my pen marks are all over this book, whether it's scribbles, working out particular things, or frustrations. I couldn't figure out a rotten puzzle. So that does happen. But yeah, I recommend you just write over this book and accept that it's self-destructive. But you're getting good few hours of content here. I forgot how long it took me, but it certainly wasn't 90 minutes, and I certainly think I took longer than 2 hours to get through the whole book. But that was solving a few of them quick and maybe skipping ahead to the solution every now and again. But if you're one of those people that refuses to look at the answer, you're going to be spending hours and hours with this book. I do highly recommend this as a good value for money thing. I mean, this would have been a perfect stocking stuffer if you were buying it before Christmas, but if you just wanted to buy a cheap present for somebody who likes puzzle books, go ahead. I've got a spare copy of this because I got one sent in the post as well as one at Essen, and I've done and dusted this book. My spare one is going to go to a friend of mine who has a bunch of these books from different publishers and that are all about puzzles. She's going to absolutely love this. I just know it. And it's going to really, I think, test her brain cells. But although perhaps she's smarter than me, that wouldn't surprise me.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
But yeah, this is a really solid book. You don't need to have done the other one. It's going to give you plenty of puzzles. Some of it's going to be frustrating. I suppose the main problem I have, and this is a bit of a negative for me, is the app that goes with it. You go to the website for Board and Dice and you find the app for this book of rituals, and basically you click on an element and it gives you some hints if you want them. So you have to key in the value and the number. You have to key in like the clue or whatever you find out to see whether you've solved it. So you must play with that companion app. It's on a browser basically. It's not a downloadable one. You go to the browser site. You have to use it. You cannot play this without it, so deal with it. But it can give you up to something like 3 to 4 hints for each puzzle. And the first couple of hints you might as well just click on every time, because it's like teaching your grandmother to suck eggs. It's like, you should consider this. And it's like, well, duh, it's the only thing on the page. What do you think I'm going to consider? After that, it starts giving you some maybe more useful hints. What infuriates me, and this was the problem in Escape Tales, because I think they did the same thing. They really need to get on board with this, Board and Dice. Your solutions don't tell you how you got to the solution. It tells you what you need to do and then says the answer is this.
Did I miss something?
Give me the solution. If I've got to draw through this maze and connect A to B to C to D, show me the finished thing so that I can see, oh, I see, I went that way, I should have gone this way. Show me how something folds over. Show me exactly how it's written on the page. Show me which of these I've got to cross out and how I move around this diagram, this rondelle and that. The fact that it just gives you a blanket answer, it's actually left me with a good few puzzles in here, about 4 or 5 here, where I still legitimately don't know how the book gets to the answer. That's frustrating. I'm not the smartest person in the world by miles. There's some of these I got really easily, some of them I had to work on them, and some of them I couldn't figure out and I had to ask the solution so I could progress further. But it's infuriating when you get an answer to something and you don't understand how it got to that answer. When you teach stuff at school and in university, when somebody doesn't understand something, or when you're teaching a rule of a game, for example, and someone doesn't quite get it, you show them examples. You show them how to get from A to B to C to D until they twig. It's like, oh, I get you now. That's how teaching works. This is the wrong way to do that. To have somebody go, I don't understand how this works. Well, there's the answer. Deal with it. You dumb. Wrong. Fail. But that's more of a negative for me. Some of you might not care about that, but that just really irks me. It gets me with that, and I like it much better when these things tell you how to get to the answer. It's like, come on, show me. Accept that I'm dumb and I didn't understand your riddle. Then enlighten me. Don't just like poke me with a stick and go, that's the answer, you're dumb, you're stupid. It's like, come on. But that aside, still a really good book. Still enjoyed my time, still definitely great value for money. I mean, you're getting a ton of puzzles in here for the money you spend. It's in a nice compact book. It's a well-produced book. I mean, it's a, hardback book with a kind of linen finished cover and that. Plenty of text. I mean, this is well-produced and keeping with the theme of being like an alchemical occult book, compared to everything else. There's no colour inside, it's all black and white, but whatever, you don't need colour in this, it's kind of pointless really. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I think my friend's going to love her copy when I do this, and like I say, this copy can now pretty much go in the bin because it has no use anymore, but I got my money's worth out of this. This is definitely really good, solid item. So if you're a fan of escape room games, I definitely recommend giving it a look. I'm giving it a solid... I don't know, that thing really irks me with some of the puzzles, but this puzzle book is still really good. I think I'm personally giving this an 8 out of 10 overall, but I could see that if you are a massive fan of escape room games, and if this is totally up your street, this is going to be a 9 or 10 out of 10 for you. I mean, you're going to absolutely adore this. For me, that negative is a bit of a negative, and there were some puzzles here where I thought, okay, why is the difficulty curve like this? So I'm going overall a strong 8 out of 10, but like I say, I still really recommend this book. So that is the Book of Rituals from Board and Dice. If you like what you see, please remember to leave a thumbs up and comment on the video. Do you like this style of game? Have you tried this? Is this your favourite? What's your favourite series of escape room style games? I'd like to know and discuss that with you. Until next time, you can check out more content on the Broken Meeple, including a recent review I did for Dixit Stellar, or you can check out my top 10 anticipated games for 2022. Until next time, remember as always, book or box, it's still only a game. Bye for now.